Today, we're going to be discussing the crime, possession of a controlled substance in Florida. Let's start with the simple part, which is the elements of the crime. In Florida, possession of a controlled substance only has two elements that need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that the defendant possessed a substance, and second, that the substance was, in fact, a controlled substance under Florida law. But it's not that simple. To prove that a defendant possessed a substance, they must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, 1, knew of the existence of the substance, and 2, intentionally exercised control over that substance. The word control is very important there. Under Florida law, control can be exercised over a substance whether the substance is carried on a person, near a person, or in a completely separate location. Mere proximity to a substance does not establish that the person intentionally exercised control over the substance in the absence of additional evidence. Control can be established by proof that the defendant had direct personal power to control the substance, or the present ability to direct its control by another. There is such a thing as joint possession under Florida law, meaning that two people can collectively possess a substance. An important defense that sometimes applies in these cases is what we call lack of knowledge of illicit nature. Under Florida law, if a jury has a reasonable doubt as to whether the defendant knew of the illicit nature of a controlled substance, the law instructs the jury to find the defendant not guilty of the crime. With regards to possible penalties, possession of a controlled substance is typically charged as a third-degree felony in Florida. This means it is punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $5,000. Another consequence that surprises most people is that a conviction for possession, sale, trafficking, or conspiracy offenses can result in a suspension of your driver's license. If you've been arrested for a drug-related crime in the Tampa area, call Hunt Law at 813-787-4849 for a free case consultation.